Welcome back to the Chill Mama, reading Naughty Amelia Jane, Chapter 3. Amelia Jane at the Sea. Once it happened that Amelia Jane, the big naughty doll, was taken down to the seaside with some of the other toys. The clockwork clown went, the brown teddy bear went, and the gollywog, and of course the golden-haired doll. They went in the car with the children, and they were all so excited. "I shall dig in the sand and throw it over everybody," said a naughty Amelia Jane. "And I shall get my pail and fill it full of water and pour it down the collie's neck. Won't he jump?" "You'll do nothing of the sort, Amelia Jane," said the gollywog at once. "You know how often you've promised to be good to us. Well, just you remember your promise." "And I shall push the clockwork clown into a rock pool and make him sit down there with all his clothes on," said Amelia Jane quietly, with a naughty giggle. "You mustn't," cried the clown in alarm. "If you do that, my clockwork will get rusty and I shan't wind up properly ever again, and I won't be able to walk." The children often took the toys down to the beach with them. After dinner, the children went to have a rest, and the toys were left in the sheltered corner of the beach. No one ever came there, so the children knew they were quite safe. And it was whilst the toys were left alone there that Amelia Jane behaved so very, very badly. She did all she said she would, and more too. She threw sand all over the golden-haired doll, and it went into her eyes dreadfully. "Ouch! It stings!" The gollywog had to find his handkerchief and comfort her. Whilst he was patting the doll on the back and wiping the sand out of her eyes, Amelia Jane was filling her pail from a pool. She crept up behind the gollywog and slipped the pail of cold seawater all down his black neck. "Ah!" yelled the gollywog, jumping about 12 inches into the air with fright. "You wicked doll!" "Amelia Jane, you are the most evil doll I've ever known. I told you not to do that." Amelia Jane thought it was such a funny joke that she rolled over and over in the sand laughing. The clockwork clown, who had seen all that, what had happened, remembered what she had said she would do to him, and he ran away as fast as he could to hide. He was so afraid of Amelia Jane would push him into a pool. Amelia looked for him. He had hidden himself under a clump of seaweed so she couldn't see him, but she saw the brown teddy bear, didn't she? He was walking round the edge of the fine deep pool, looking at the crabs. Amelia Jane crept up behind him. She gave him a push. Swoosh! The teddy landed in the pool and sat right down in the water. "Ah! He gasped, his mouth full of salty water. Amelia Jane laughed till the tears ran down her face. "I can't handle it." "You are very naughty and unkind," said the clockwork clown, poking his head out of the seaweed nearby. "You are a most dreadful doll." "Hi, girlie, come and help me push Amelia Jane in the water." "I shan't let you," said Amelia Jane. "I shall paddle out to sea and sit on that rock over there. I'm bigger than any of you, and I can get through the deep water so easily. You won't be able to follow me, and I shall be quite safe." "Ha ha to you, clockwork clown." Amelia Jane had no shoes or stockings on. She lifted up her red skirt and stepped into the waves. She waded out into the big rock that showed itself some way out. It was covered with green seaweed. The teddy shook the water from his fur and ran after Amelia, splashing through the waves, but he was afraid of getting drowned, and he soon came back. "I can't do it, it's too far." Amelia was a very big doll, so she could easily get to the rock. The water did not come up to her more than her knees. She reached the rock and climbed up. She waved to the others. "Look at me. I'm the king of the castle." Dancing on the rock. "You can't get me. I shall stay here and have a nice nap." She lay down on the soft green seaweed. The hot sun had dried it well. It was very cosy. It was like a soft bed, and she soon fell asleep. When the children came out to play, they didn't miss her. They had new spades and they wanted to dig a nice big castle. They took no notice of any of the other toys and didn't even see how wet the teddy bear was. They dug and dug and dug. They had tea on their bench and then they dug again. When it was time to go home, they collected their toys and set off to the beach. They had the clock work orange, and then they had the golden-haired doll. They also forgot Amelia Jane. And when Amelia Jane woke, she was like, "Where is everyone? What am I gonna do?" She decided to swim back to shore. The other toys were sitting on a shelf watching the children go to bed. Nobody thought of Amelia Jane. They had completely forgotten her. But when the children were safely in bed, the Gollywog suddenly looked round and saw no Amelia. For a moment he wondered where she was, and then he remembered she had been left on the rock, and the tide was coming in. "Uh-oh. I say, toys," said the Golly. "Amelia Jane's on the rock." No. They put the boat into the water and went out to see if they could rescue her. The Golly got in first. The golden-haired doll got in. The clockwork clown pushed off and then jumped himself. The Golly arranged the white sails so that the wind filled them. The clown took the rudder and guided to the little ship. The tide was coming in so fast it was a long, long way out to that rock. Amelia Jane was so frightened. "I'm scared. Help, help," she shouted. As another big wave came over the rock, Amelia held on to some seaweed. The sea wetted her right up on her two shoulders. "Oh, it's so freaking cold. Please help, Gollywog." "We're coming, Amelia Jane, we're coming," shouted the toys. Amelia Jane heard them. She looked over the waves and saw the three toys in the sailing ship. It bobbed up and down as it came, for the sea was quite rough. Oh, you good creatures. Oh," she sobbed. "I don't deserve to be rescued. I was so unkind to you, but oh, I'm so glad to see you." The ship sailed quite near to the rock. The clown was careful not to let it strike the rock, for that would mean a wreck. "Jump, Amelia, jump into the ship," he called. "We can't come any nearer." Amelia jumped. It was a good jump. She landed right in the middle of the boat. It swayed about, and then as the clown turned into the wind, the sails filled and the little ship sailed towards shore again. "You'll soon be safe home," said the golden-haired doll, so very kindly. "Don't cry." "I won't tease you anymore, any of you. It was so kind of you to remember I was on the rock and come to rescue me. Thank you ever so much." The ship reached the sand. The Golly jumped and pulled it in. The golden-haired doll jumped out and helped pour wet, cold Amelia Jane out. The clown jumped out last of all, and then they carried the ship back to the nursery again. The Golly took Amelia Jane down to the kitchen fire and dried her. Then back to the nursery they went, and soon fell asleep after their very exciting day. And was Amelia Jane kinder to the toys after that? Yes, very much kinder. All the time they were away at the sea. But alas, when they went back home again, Amelia Jane forgot all about her good ways. Read on, and you will see. I wonder what she's going to get up to now. Will she ever learn? Or she is a naughty, wicked, wicked doll. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was chapter 3 today of Naughty Amelia Jane. Please tune in again, like and subscribe. It means a lot. And I'll be reading chapter 4 very soon. Thank you and good night wherever you are.
One last thing. Thank you for 32 subscribers. Goodbye and good night.